Hello, and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Riches Roadmap. I always have to think. I think of the old name. I'm not going to say it anymore.
Basement Tales.
Oh, you screwed me up again. Well, today is should be interesting. We're actually, as a team here, going to be interviewing my son, Charlie Grass.
Oh, you're interviewing me?
No, you're interviewing us.
Oh,
That's right.
is?
Yeah, I was.
Because I was going to say this is great because he's legally bound to answer any questions I asked.
Well, he can do that too.
Oh,
He can do
yeah,
that too.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can turn it back on him. And
The only problem is dealing with a son. You don't want to ask him too personal questions
Well,
because you
oh, yes,
might
I-
not know what they might say.
yes, I do. I don't
Oh.
care. But so,
okay.
but so, Charlie is. I guess, are you Gen Z officially, or?
I'm like right in the middle. I'm
Uh-huh.
between millennial and Gen Z.
Oh, that's great. That's all you.
Yeah, I'm
need
in
is
the
in
worst spot.
And we, obviously we hear a lot talking about people like Charlie trying to get houses, and what the average age they just said in the press is 40 years old for a first house.
That's pretty
if
old.
you get a
$40.
if you get a
That'd be great.
$40 house,
$40 is what you guys
no,
pay.
I was talking. No, I was talking to somebody at the Sub 2 meet about $35,000 houses in upstate New York,
Yeah.
yeah,
and he wanted you to lend on it.
oh yeah. Well, there's
Seven-
still an
seven-
opportunity for you to get a
yeah.
$35,000 house just out of town.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one issue to talk about. I don't know how you want to run this if I have Charlie go, but I've also seen in the press a lot of people saying, like our age group, telling Gen Z or X or whatever the Gen,
Millennium, yeah.
that saying, "Well, move to Idaho. You can get an incredible house for $200,000 or whatever it is out
Yeah.
there." This is a very different market around here, but obviously, so why are you not in Idaho?
I don't want to be a peanut farmer. That's
But
Yeah.
they must do other things out there. They must have video.
I heard it's
stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I
I'm
know
sure it
that's-
is.
I've
I'm
never
sure
been
it's
there.
great. Very flat. Lots of corn.
But you get to the mountain range. You get close to the west side of Yellowstone.
I guess that's true.
Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, well,
The lake.
James might go to Iowa, so you can
Yeah, go
out
visit.
there.
There
Yeah.
you go. No, I wouldn't want to visit Iowa. I've been there.
Yeah,
that's
no, all
corn-
my siblings
that's
are in really cool
cornfields.
places. I mean, Andrew's in London, Caroline's in Alaska,
Yeah.
and I'm in DC.
Well, that's
That
nothing wrong with
sucks.
that. That's not DC.
I want to go to
There ain't
Alaska.
nothing wrong with DC.
DC's DC.
Stuff's happening.
If
in
you hadn't
DC.
been here
Stuff
before,
is happening in DC.
if you hadn't
This
been here
is
before,
true.
you'd want to be here. A lot of people want to come here.
Yeah, so I guess like the main thing that I am exploiting not being a student but being in a position where I can ask questions like a student is I have a goal for either next year or the next 2 years. Currently, I have a
Yes.
townhouse. We're house hacking it.
What is house hacking?
Okay, so house hacking is basically I have the mortgage on the house, and then I'm subletting rooms in the house to friends of mine, or I mean they could be anybody really, but to friends of mine to help pay off the mortgage. Cause
What a great model.
it's awesome. No, it's great. I mean,
the way I started.
yeah.
How many
yeah,
how many
yeah.
bedrooms?
How many what now?
Bedrooms.
4 bedrooms.
How
So-
many
bedrooms.
total people are living in your
Yes.
hacked house?
Total people 4 actually.
Okay, that's not bad.
amazingly.
How many animals?
How many animals? 2 animals. So it's me, my girlfriend, my friend, business partner Brian, and another friend of ours, Jake. We got 2 cats.
Jake is there?
Jake is there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
There's never a boring day.
He's a
your own
treat.
personal
Yeah, he's,
bartender.
he's
Yeah.
helping out
No.
Brian actually today. They're in DC filming some Turkish people.
Doing what?
A good question.
Okay.
I don't think they know either.
All right.
But yeah, so we have this house and
All right. So you're house hacking it, 4 bedrooms,
correct.
right? And then you said 4 people.
4 people.
Are 3 of them paying you rent or 2?
3 of them.
Oh,
3 of them.
3
Yeah,
of them.
because one of them is my girlfriend, but we're all
Oh, this
paying
is
it.
We're not
Great.
talking about that
This
kind
is
of
right.
rent.
Whoa. Whoa, before we go any further. Did you have Laura pay you rent? No? No, Laura
we're
never
gonna have
paid
to
you
interview
rent.
her for that.
You what?
We'll have to interview her for that.
Oh,
for that
okay.
question.
I
Well,
want
it
to
also
hear that.
depends on what time of your life.
That's it.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because she went back to school to get her veterinary technician license.
So she's going to be supporting you one day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so not
wrong with
a
that
vet, a veterinary technician. It's like a
Yeah.
nurse to a doctor.
It's a great.
But
That's a great
so
business.
she's at school, she's working, and veterinary technician job and veterinary assistants in general is not like the highest paying job in the world. So I do ultimately I do want to be able to afford more of like the side of that. But so I guess like the goal I have is I want to leverage that situation into some kind of single family home situation with me and my girlfriend.
But let's get into the details.
And evict the other two.
Right? Yeah. Either
No. You want another home. He wants another home.
You're not evicting the other two.
I think I'm hearing
He's got two options.
He wants another home.
Correct.
He either keeps the other two in place, which he'll probably do, or you bring the other two with you and get another 4.
Yeah.
Or you keep
Let's
the
go,
two
man.
and get
Ideally-
another two.
No, it's serious.
Ideally, not bring the other two with me.
Okay, then you could do what's called
I hope
there's
they
something
don't
out there
watch
called
the
pad
podcast.
split.
Okay.
It's called pad split. You could use if you want to go with pad
Is that
split.
a website of some
Yeah,
sort?
it's an app.
Really?
Yeah, it's a service too.
For house hacking, or
Yeah, for house
So
hacking.
they
It's
manage
called
the
pad split.
entirety of people coming and going.
Right,
And
right.
then you have they have furnished ones too. I think
Yes.
for pad split.
Yep. So you're into a different model, but let's talk about the numbers, right? Because at least I like numbers.
Yeah, you're a numbers
I
guy.
could care about anything.
And it
else,
turns out
really.
you need numbers in order to do this. You've got to have some money.
All right.
Okay.
So what is the big number? that
Yeah.
you pay
So
every
what's your
month?
mortgage payment?
my mortgage payment is $3,700 a month.
All right,
about.
mind you, guys, we're in Washington D.C., so it's going to be more expensive than upstate New York or Iowa or.
So
Correct.
that
Idaho,
3,700
All right,
covers
$3,700.
your mortgage, the interest, the principal, the taxes, and the insurance.
Correct.
So your
All right.
mortgage is being paid down.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you got some utilities.
Yes, and that adds up to. I mean, it depends. It's like 500-ish bucks
Okay.
additional.
So we're at
a
about
month.
$4,200 a month to operate in a townhouse in
Okay.
15,
Right.
Northern
mi-
Virginia.
15 miles.
But you're not
outside of
splitting the
city.
utilities
Right.
on your rent. You're just charging them a straight rent, right?
I'm just charging them straight rent.
All
Yeah,
right.
I myself am paying all the utilities.
All right. So let's.
But then
okay.
yeah.
How much are they paying you?
They're paying me each about $1,000.
So that's $3,000.
Yeah, and then I
Wow.
pay in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get an interest
My
deduction.
girlfriend pays a little less. I pay the balance.
So 3,000.
You get an interest deduction. You're paying down principal every month. So your net is probably
So he's close
a
to
little less.
He's close to break
a
even.
little less than $1,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean after
close.
taxes.
He's
I mean
close
after
to break
utilities.
even.
Yeah. He's definitely breaking even without the utilities. He's
Yes.
basically
Correct.
paying to live.
For
there.
sure.
He's paying utilities to live there.
Well, and
Yeah.
and the other way to look at it is the alternate living. I mean, you had looked into apartments, and so
It's
to get like
way
a-
more expensive.
Yeah, yeah. So
oh,
so if you were
you're
paying
comparing $700 that he might be paying to
Couple
2,000.
thousand.
Yeah,
2,000 for a cruddy one.
You can't
right.
fight. Yeah, exactly. Nothing. There's nothing less than like 1,500, 15 to 1,800.
Yeah,
and
and
even
that's
like,
cruddy.
You get like a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it, right? So what is the $3,000? What's the definition of that? That's called passive income, right?
Yeah, I
What are you
guess
doing?
technically, yeah, I'm
Right.
paying down the
Yeah,
mortgage.
you're not
with
doing
it, but
anything
yeah.
during that income, right?
Yeah,
You're not
correct.
actively making this income. It's passive.
Right.
It's based on the asset itself.
Yeah. So
That's a great model.
yeah,
Oh,
it's great, and I have this hard asset. We put some work into it. Like we built a deck. To
sweat equity. That's,
sweat equity.
you know,
Exactly.
yeah.
Sure.
These Gen Xers, they don't sweat.
No.
Gen Z.
I'm
Gen
sorry.
X is.
I'm just glad to hear that they're
That's
working.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to hear
They
that
have
they're
jobs.
working.
Yeah,
You
that's-
got it.
now, especially
Yeah.
young people. There's a lot in the press about that the under 30 or maybe 25 and that is like 10% unemployment
Yeah.
compared to 4.6 generally.
Something
So,
like that, yeah.
You've
And
been
I
Yeah,
just-
because
replaced
it's
by
funny.
AI.
It's funny. I'm sitting across the table looking at this guy, and I'm like, man, 8 years ago, Curdy Vegas. I hope you're listening to this.
Uh-oh.
Curtis was living in Arlington, North Arlington of all places, and he just got out of tech. And I'm like, Curtis, let's buy a house in North Arlington. You
Told him
can
to buy
house
that house
hack.
he was in.
Yeah,
He was
remember
in
the
a
house
nice
he was
house.
in? You can house hack it to your friends. 8 years goes by, and here you are.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that's I'm in this pretty good position, and I just the other day locked down an additional job at MS Now. I work in the news as my day job. So I'm at Fox, News Nation, and now MS Now, and they're going to be paying me more money. So I'm going
you
to
go.
see if I can leave from
There you
Fox
go.
and News Nation, pick up more days at MS Now.
And you do like cameras, microphones. All
Correct.
that,
Yeah, exactly. So like studio technician stuff, you're stage managing, so you're interacting with the hosts and the guests and
But
politicians.
do you have
and
an
all that.
income statement?
For myself,
Yes.
I do not, and I need
Oh,
one.
yeah,
That's
You
another
gotta get
goal
organized.
of mine
Figure it
this
out.
year.
But then we have that income statement. You'll see the other counterpart to it is a balance sheet, and that'll show you your equity.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you'll figure out how much you're stacking in that equity every month. And
Yeah,
you sort
so-
of understand that, and you'll be like, oh, well, at this point, I
Yeah.
have this much saved, and
Yeah.
maybe I could do a sub 2 transaction. People are very excited about those lately.
Right.
I'm
Coming
sort
up on
of
a-
excited about them
coming
too,
up on a
because
podcast sub 2. We're gonna do it.
we did one, and we've had borrowers do them at this point, and that's a good deal for a guy
Your
like
dad
you.
just bought a sub 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think it's a great move.
So sub 2 that's the main thing I was thinking of the strategies. That's what I've heard you guys talk about the most. That
Yeah.
seems to make the most sense to me. Is all right. So like basically right now with my income, I'm more or less breaking even with like with the house and with whatever other like utilities expenses and equipment expenses, and I have my own business that I run this through and paying people out and everything like that. I'm making a little bit of money on top of that I'm saving,
which is called residual income.
Right.
It's the residual of your month. Right?
and so but with now the MS Now job, it'll be a lot easier to save more. I'm going to be making more money. It's easier now. I'm in a pretty good kind of situation. I'll be making more money on top of that. The residual will go higher. I can save more money, hopefully put that aside for either a subject to situation or buying a pre-foreclosure house, finding some kind of situation.
Yeah, see, I don't think a pre-foreclosure would work for him or most young people because, as I understand, or at least in the situation I did, the easy parts, you buy the house, subject to is you pay the underlying original mortgage. It's all great. I mean, it's terrific. But let's say you're buying the house for $300,000 and there's a $200,000 subject to. You've got to come up with that $100,000.
What's the house worth?
That say 350 or 4.
Oh, okay.
So because you can't also, so let's say, so you have to have the capital, which is why it's smart to say the income statement. We cover that in the book, and
Right.
you would think like people like, I know what I'm making, I know what you got to write it down, and
Yeah,
so
do.
that you can say,
do.
I
And then
know
you
how
can track
much.
it over time. I
Right.
think that's so valuable. When you write it down, you don't have to worry about it till next year. Write it down again.
Yeah.
And you'll see over time. It's amazing.
That's one of my main kind of goals is to have a better, even just understanding of what kind
Where
of
you
money
are.
I have.
No, see,
what
that's
I
the
can
thing.
move
I
with,
wouldn't
and
do that. I'll tell
Don't
you
figure out what kind of money.
No, I'd tell you what I'd do. No. I think the goal is, number one, like you talked about, the next purchase has got to be a purchase into equity.
Right, absolutely.
How you find it doesn't matter, whether it's a
True.
state sale, pre-foreclosure, blighted property that you got to fix up,
Right.
a divorce, right, family, because if you can buy it into an equity position, when I'm saying equity position, I mean 70%, 70 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about the money.
So 30% equity, you're saying.
Yeah, 30% equity, let's just say. Because if you can buy into an equity position, there's nothing wrong with sub 2 financed, owner held financed, hard money, right? You could utilize a hard money lender. The only problem is it's, the legalities of loaning to an individual.
In
It's
certain
not-
states.
Yeah,
right.
but in this
States,
case,
but-
if we think about this, in this case, he can have an LLC. He doesn't need to move into that house. In fact, if he's buying a distressed house, he's likely not to find it in a market where he wants to live exactly.
Well, that's right.
So
That's true.
He just live where he
That's
is
a good point.
and change his mindset. In his
That's a
next
good
place,
point.
he just sets up an LLC, or he has some friendly
Yeah.
lawyer
Yeah.
set up his
Yeah,
LLC.
a friendly-
And
yeah.
then,
I don't know where
and
you
then,
find
and
that.
then, I don't know where you find a friendly one.
Yeah.
And then you would, then he would buy that, and he would rent that out, and that's
Yeah.
that.
Or,
Yeah, I
or
think-
sell it for profit
Or
in
so I
order
would
to
just
buy
keep
another
it.
house
A guy
retail.
like him,
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
age,
Yeah.
should be keep buying and collecting.
Accumulating. Yeah.
You
But
know,
this
Yeah,
is why
and-
it's,
Like
if
a
you
guy with a bunch
do-
of houses, he should just hand them to a guy like him.
Yeah, and if you right.
well, we'll talk about that actually, and it's that there's been in the paper a lot too that there's this whole wealth transfer coming from
Yes.
the boomers
Yeah,
and
for sure.
older,
For sure.
and so a lot of people are like, well, wait a second. To help my kid get started,
Exactly.
I can help with a down payment or
Right.
now. Not all. That's like Mitt Romney used to say, like, I'll just get a loan from your parents to start a business.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everybody has that.
Which
but,
I mean is what full disclosure I had. I mean,
yeah,
so
some help, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's yeah. So, but I, of course, I mean, I got my first house. My parents-in-law loaned us $25,000,
Yeah, that's
and it ended up the timing in '97 was perfect,
Yeah.
and that has passed through and helped us
Right.
the whole way, and we
Right.
paid
I
them
got
back within
mine
a
the
year.
first same way, yeah.
I had good cash flow, but I had no savings,
Yeah.
and so sometimes people, you have to swallow your pride,
Yeah,
or
whatever.
you have to make sure you were born to the right person, whatever. But that's one method. But that's the thing about the subject too, and getting to that, because he
Yeah.
wants to live in a
Well-
single family house in whatever neighborhood.
Well, that's the problem, right?
Well, so
that's the
He,
problem.
So if you-
needs to rethink where he's living. That's separate from
Well, that's the
buying
problem.
the next house
That's
with
the
equity
problem.
in it.
Right. I think.
So,
Yeah. I
because
think,
I'm saying, say he gets the subject too. First of all, where do you come up with the 100,000 in my scenario? Maybe I loan it to him.
Well, that's the
but-
thing. No, it doesn't matter, right? Because as long as he's buying into the equity position, 30%.
Then he can sell it.
No. Even the sub two,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's say the house is ARV 600,000. You're buying it for 420, right? 70, right? Is that
about
right?
yeah.
420. There's a sub two there for 300.
So you
You're
just need
gonna-
120.
That you're going to sub two on, right? You're going to not assume the mortgage, but you're going to take over the payments.
Mm-hmm.
You need 120 to bridge the gap. But because you've already got a 30% equity position, any of us at this table would lend you the money, the
Yeah,
120
sure. Uh-huh.
that you would need to cover it. So that's what I'm trying to tell
Oh,
you.
because even at the hard money number, you're saying
Yeah.
the blended rate would be
cares?
good enough,
Right.
Right,
The
right.
blended rate.
And then you try to
Yeah.
pay off.
Then-
You try to
Yes.
pay off the
Yeah.
high rate
Right.
loan.
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that I get it. I think you guys are fiscally responsible, but I think getting the house first at a good equity position, don't spin your wheels and worry about the money.
And don't spin your
Or
wheels
where
on
the
where the
house
house is.
Yeah.
And,
Sure.
and not,
Yeah.
Don't think of the next house as the house for you. If
Right.
it happens that it is,
Yeah, because
then
think
you'll
about it.
address that when that comes
So,
up.
so that was, I guess, my question. Because the first thing that what I was initially thinking is like, okay, I want my own place. But
course.
what you're saying is smart. Forget about
You may
where
be
it
in your
is.
own place. You get
Right.
enough revenue generating from the other one. You just tell these other
Exactly.
guys, "Hey, man, I got a new house for you." It happens.
And
Yeah,
go
because think about
retail
this.
or
Let's
something
just
along
talk
those
about
lines.
this as a number
Yeah.
standpoint. What did we say the average age of the home buyer is?
40.
Okay.
39.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
It's a simple math, dude.
Right.
He
Yeah.
has, right now, he's got 14 more years of house hacking.
I got some
Right.
time.
Right.
14 years
Right.
of
To
house
Just get to
hacking.
average. Just get to average. If he was below average, he
Right.
might
And then
have.
that 40 is going to go to 42, 43.
I'm saying,
So
and
the
then
average-
the below average will be 50, and then you get a 50-year mortgage. You only live to 100.
So nothing against your friends, Charlie Grass friends. If you guys are listening to this podcast, nothing against your friends, but that says that your friends are 13 years away or 14 years away from buying a house.
Oh, for sure,
Right.
all day
You're their
long.
guy, man.
But the other thing is that his friends are doing is not thinking about it.
Well,
because there's this idea,
We haven't
right?
talked about
There's
that.
this idea, right, that it's just going to happen for you. You work and it's going to happen for
No.
you. And that idea is out the window. So if you're thinking about these things and you're putting a coordinated effort in and you're doing your income statement, you're doing your balance sheet, and you're thinking about where these questions come from, you are so far ahead of most people because most people have just given up. They say,
Right.
I'm going to get it when I'm 40 because it doesn't fit the parameters now. There's no way to do it. Nothing works.
Or just save up money
Everything's
over
bad.
time until they're able to.
Yeah,
afford
and
whatever.
then that's
Sure.
a 40-year plan.
Right.
That's
Way
a
to do
crap
it.
plan.
It's not the way to do it.
Right.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
it
because-
is a way to do it.
No, I know,
If you
I
don't
know.
want to burden yourself with like these concerns, if you thought the world should be fair, you should have an opportunity to do it in a normal course. Everything should be like it was
Yeah, but-
in 1985.
Yeah, but the opportunity-
But that is gone.
I know, but the opportunity's now.
Yeah, no.
And that's the
just
whole
in terms
problem,
of-
right? And this is where I'm
yeah.
excited.
And speaking of which, by the way, your interest rate's not great. Everybody's worried about
Correct.
interest rates. It's like 6 3/4.
Well, that's
Yeah.
my that's
Okay,
my point.
I have a different
That's
opinion.
why we have
I have
to
a different
stop.
opinion.
No.
That is not a bad rate.
No, we
well,
have to
but
stop.
I mean,
today,
people
but-
view it as compared to
know.
the 2.5.
Right,
but
but
what
we're
I'm
having
saying
enough
is,
of these crazy
we have to
highs.
stop talking about money, though, right?
Right.
Because we're getting caught up on money, and money happens to be this roadblock for people. So the way you got to
yeah.
look at it, is
No, I
think about
that's
it. No,
true.
no.
It's like a
Think
psychological
about the
component of it.
market as a hot air balloon, right? So we have this hot air balloon. What does it do? It's rising. We are the balloon. When I say we, the homeowners are this hot air balloon. We're already on the balloon. We're already going up because we're
That's
into
correct.
the market. You, by buying the house at 25 or 26, whenever you bought it,
Exactly.
you're the guy, the basket of the hot air balloon?
Yeah. I'm
Man, you're
holding
hanging on. You're
He's-
hanging
yeah.
on with one arm.
Right.
You're one arm on the hot air balloon, right?
Yeah.
But guess what,
You're
man?
on.
You're on. It
Right.
doesn't matter
That's
how you
right.
got
Sure.
on, where you got on, but you're on.
Well, this
So
is
now you're in the market. Now you've got such a big step up on your peers, man.
Sure.
Keep going.
well, and what's a good point for Charlie, but also others who maybe don't have down payment or whatever. Your point about not worry so much about the area. Now it's
Right.
easy for, say, a young guy versus maybe a young woman who's
Right, that's
worried about
true.
safety.
That's the difference,
But I
yes.
mean, there's perfectly fine areas. I mean, I would say nothing against PG County, but it's a little bit lower pricing, and the housing stock's older. And so there'd be more opportunities there than, say, Fairfax to actually find a distressed thing.
It's
And
very low in Fairfax.
but you can find distressed stuff, but
can.
it's a lot harder. And we have students who've found plenty of stuff
and we
in
have
Fairfax.
a couple of properties in
but-
Fairfax.
but-
You have one, we have one, but that's of many properties. We just have a couple.
Right. So, but like
Yeah.
for Charlie's friends, what they should be doing is trying to find something, say, in PG County that they can buy
agree.
and go live in.
Which
I
is
agree.
actually, I
and
think,
And then
their
they
own
should start
house
house
hacking.
hacking. Yes, they should
Well,
start house
and
hacking.
I think you should look at where new infrastructure goes. And in Prince George's County, they have a new off of Central Avenue, a huge new center that's all pretty and beautiful.
Maybe called the Metro?
They call look at the metro locations where where they put the new line
Yep.
in.
Yep.
That's definitely a growth area. That's a great idea because what's that line called? That top line they have from Silver Spring all the way into Prince George's.
Silver Line.
I bet it's
Metro.
called the Silver.
There's
Metro.
silver,
I
there's
don't
a
know what-
purple. I think
There's a
there's
new.
a
It's the purple. Maybe
too.
is the new one.
The purple.
There's a new line.
Purple.
Yeah, and then
That
Silver's
is
out
definitely
to
a growth
Townhouse.
corridor. So you're young, you
Right.
see transitional neighborhoods. You're a male. It may be safer for you physically. These are things. I mean, you're probably not thinking about. Why would I look in Prince George's County? And you probably have never driven to Prince George's County to those areas
Right.
off of Central
Well, and
Avenue.
so what you're
but these
saying-
are like you have a Saturday. Turns out your work's canceled. You're going to go up there and drive
Great
around.
point. Just drive
Right.
around.
To find an area on the map where the new metro line
Yeah.
goes, see where the new county office centers are and where the new big shopping centers are, and just drive to them.
Yeah.
And then understand those areas. Drive
Right.
around them for an hour. I'm not saying move into them, just drive around them and understand them, and then start looking at different resources to get yourself a place in there.
Well, and you're saying is what, like, same thing though with the property is that it doesn't have to be in a place that I want to live because ultimately
You're
ultimately
living
I
where
could
you
sell it
live.
or I
You're
could flip
fine
it
where you
immediately.
live.
Right.
You don't have. You're not this idea that you need to use conventional financing to buy your next move-in house.
I'm not super pressured
Is
right
not
now.
something
yeah.
you need to even consider. You just need to find the value deal,
Right.
and then assemble the money behind that deal. If it happens that it's a house
Right,
you could
'cause
live
you're
in,
gonna-
great.
Sure.
Yeah, because you're going to eventually.
Charlie lives in a house like that.
Yeah,
he
you're
moved
gonna-
into one that he found equity in.
I did, yeah. So you're eventually, I'll tell you that story in a second. You're going to eventually land in conventional financing.
yeah,
Eventually,
Right.
right?
when you're
to the-
40.
Right.
It
right.
it doesn't matter though, because even if you buy the house in an equity position, you got a sub two, you got a hard money second on top of it. You could always refinance into a conventional loan and pay
Sure.
off the sub two and the hard money.
Yeah, if
behind.
rates drop at some point, you're
Yeah,
ready.
and if it's
and-
in your LLC,
Yeah,
you
when
could
the
put it
timing
in
is
your
right.
own name and move into it if it's that house.
Yeah, so you're gonna fall back into conventional financing, whether it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, it doesn't matter.
No.
That's your final resting point. But who cares if it's not now?
Yeah, well, so that's I guess one of the main things with the subject too. So, I guess like let me talk through I guess the model that I'm thinking out. But the main reason I was thinking subject to is for the lower rate.
Perfect. Nothing wrong with that.
So but I could in theory I could find a house in an equity position, flip it, whatever cash I make from that, then put into whatever subject to deal that I could then live
see,
in. Like is that kind of
no? That's the problem, right? See, here's the problem. Remember, the term "subject to" means subject to the existing mortgage.
Right.
The problem is The name of the game is buying a distressed asset with equity. End of story.
Right.
So there are many ways.
There's
many
many
ways.
Sure.
If you're fortunate enough to buy into a distressed asset with equity, and it also has a sub 2, then that's the goal. Because you shouldn't just be searching for, I want a distressed asset and sub 2.
Sure.
Because
Right.
it is so hard.
But the equity
just to find
position
a
is the
sub.
most
That's
important.
narrowing
It's
it,
just
just like
so hard to
narrowing
find a
to where
sub 2
you
to begin
want it.
with.
This is a good point. We talk about that. There's so many ways to get money. I didn't even think about it, but it's true that it's the finding the distressed property, which you guys are experts on. I'm not, but
Well, I
that's
wouldn't say
what's-
that. You're an expert too.
I'm
You know
learning.
what you're doing.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Well, I pay attention.
You know what you're doing.
basically. But the thing about this, let me ask you this though: should he be thinking? I guess you can modify what you do based on what you find. What I heard him say a little bit is, well, if I get a distressed property, I could almost be a wholesaler and sell it, or
do
I
that
could
too.
fix and flip
can
in
do that
order
too.
to raise capital to then do what? Buy more of those, or buy a regular
Yeah, or buy a regular Yeah,
house
which
with
there's
that
nothing wrong with
cash,
that.
or which is even better if you can swing it, is to buy that distressed property, fix it enough that it's rentable,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you can cover the rent or whatever, then you never have to live there. And then hopefully that because of the equity position, that will open up other
Yes.
doors for other properties.
Totally agree.
So what do what do you think is better? To try to raise cash this way, or try to get rental property, or for longer term?
Oh, I think at his age, he should get him and hold him.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
Yeah, well, that's what I-
Right.
You might
Really?
have to sell some of them to get
Well,
cash
whatever
to buy
makes
some
sense with
more.
the numbers,
Yes.
I suppose,
Get
right?
some more
Yeah, because you're at the perfect
starting point.
house hacking age.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So people are sitting there like, oh, they have these roadblocks, right? They're running into the road. They're running to the wall. They're thinking, oh, I'm too young. I don't have any money. They're thinking like you're thinking, oh, I need to raise money. I need to save money. No.
Crypto. Need to get crypto.
Oh,
Crypto.
Oh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I gotta get some
We
crypto.
can get in
yeah.
there. I'm going to make it rich in Instagram.
Go
I'm
to
gonna make
MGM
Instagram.
Casino.
Yeah, exactly.
Parlay.
I'm
Get
Right,
the parlay.
right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it. I would buy these houses and buy them into equity positions.
So then
and
my-
house hack, because think about it, there's 2 ways, right? Well, 3 ways. There's the long-term lease standpoint, which is what we do, where we have a tenant in there for a year, 2 years, 3 years. We don't house hack. You have your Airbnb, which is more of a daily rental, but then you have your house hack model, which is actually the better and the more
optimized.
stable. It's
Yeah.
optimized because
You're
if
there.
you house hack a house, let's say the house you're
You're
house
there,
hacking,
but you're the landlord,
the market
yeah.
rent is, let's say, $2,500 for the townhouse. Well, remember, you're house hacking it, living there, and you're getting $3,000. So by renting out, and Mike Brown does this all the time with his properties, he house hacks. He still house hacks a couple properties. You're going to get more of a rental income stream off that house. That house that rents for $2,500, you're going to get $33,000, $3,200. So you're increasing the house by the house hacking method.
Oh, yeah.
All you've got to do.
maximizing that yield.
All you've got to do is get your maybe stable friends who might be unstable financially in there for the long term.
And you have the backup of that online system to find people by
Yeah,
room.
and you've just maxed out that exposure on that house
Sure.
from an income standpoint.
So if somebody doesn't have somebody to help them start, to get enough money to even to start the house hacking, whatever down payment
They
you
need to find the asset. They need to find
Yeah,
the
that's the key.
discounted
That's the key.
asset, and then they're going to
They'll be able
find
to
the money.
afford it.
Right.
To find
So
the
that's
money.
obviously the first thing that needs to happen is the distressed property needs to be found. So you guys talk about driving for dollars, and you mentioned like driving around a neighborhood that is
You
developmental.
have to
so
become
like
informed. Yeah.
right, so that I'm informed of. So, but my question is, what kind of what kind of things should I be looking for? What kind of information should I have up front? So like I'm thinking, okay, developmental neighborhood, but am I just looking at every house there? Because some of them are owned, not all of them would be like for sale or in a position to like a good equity position. How do I find things that look like they have a good equity position? Is there some place online I should be looking? Should I look for comps first and then drive around that area?
What I would do, first of all, and this is a good segue to your target neighborhood. Maybe there is a target neighborhood that you want to live for a long time and buy a house. What I would do, I would drive for dollars, right? So I would write down the vacants and the blighted. Blighted meaning, let's say it needs a new roof. Let's say the wood trim is rotted. Let's say
Boarded
grass
up.
is overgrown. Let's say it's boarded up.
Cars,
right?
Got
cars with
stickers
no
on it.
So
no license
I would
plate.
do that. right? I would build this list of those properties that you're interested in. I would then go immediately to the tax record, right? I would find out two things. I would find out if the owner occupant is living there or is it an out-of-town owner. The next thing I would find out was when did that owner buy that property. So if they bought the property in, let's say, early 2000s, if they bought it late 90s, right, then that's a good target, right? The next thing I would do, though, is if they bought the property between, and it's distressed and blighted, if they bought the property between 2018 and 2021-ish, 2022-ish,
Nice low
then,
rate.
then I would add that as well because that could be a good sub-2 candidate as well.
Yeah.
So I would do all those
Even
things.
purchased that recently.
Especially
Well, that's the best.
purchased that
That's the
recently.
best
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
It's the
there's
best rate, I
but the
know.
market still went up after 2018.
Yeah,
it
odds
went up
are,
materially.
and remember though, odds are it's a conventional loan.
So they put a
which
bunch of
means
money down.
They put 20% down, or yeah.
So,
So-
let's just say they're an older couple and they're going to move into
Yeah.
a retirement home or into Green
But would they
Spring or
have bought the
something.
house then? And that's the question, I guess, is like if it's an
They
older
might have
folks that are-
refinanced it. You don't know their
I guess
circumstances.
that's
Could be their
Sure.
second house. It could
You
be
don't know their circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I was just hearing about a deal exactly like that last night on our call. This gentleman, he focuses on senior communities and helping those people dispose of their assets.
Sure.
And so he offers an opportunity if they want to do a sub-2 to him. He'll get rid of everything in the house after they select what they want and ship it to their kids. He'll take care of everything and make their transition easy. And in exchange, of course, he's buying it at a discount, buying it as is.
Right.
But he's also buying them sub-2. He's buying a sub-2 one with the person got a loan in 2021.
Is that the one? Is that the one in Manassas?
when the rate
Manassas,
was like 3% or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
really
right?
low. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that is astonishing. And he was all over it.
Oh no, that's the deal though. That's the deal. It's
Yeah.
and this
And
is
he's
perfect,
helping
right?
these people. They're so happy.
No,
They've out
they're
of
thrilled.
town family
the
members.
Kids, the kids are thrilled
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the numbers are
Good enough.
it's a 750 ARV.
Yeah.
It's a 450 purchase.
Yeah.
The loan amount is 400.
Think about this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's putting down $50,000 and giving it to
the family.
the family.
They could care less.
And
They're
then he
he's
has-
He's
helping
going to
them.
need another $50,000
Yeah,
to
but that's
renovate,
so he's
get
making
it rent
200
ready.
grand on this thing easy,
Right,
right?
and he's
Yeah,
gonna keep it or
so
flip
he's
it
going
or
to be all
whatever.
in at 500
Yeah.
grand. It's worth 750, but he's got a rental on a sub-2. What'd you say the interest rate was? 2 and 7/8.
He didn't tell me the rate, but
Between
based on the year, it
2.75
was
and
less
3 and a
than
quarter.
3.5. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got a $250,000 in equity.
Yeah, and guess where he's getting $100,000 from? It might shock you. Yeah, we're putting on a hard money second for 100 grand on a subject.
Yeah, why
too.
not? And he turns it around in,
And,
in
he's
90
got
days,
people
right?
calling
I
him
mean-
all
No,
the
he's
time.
going to rent it
He's gonna
out.
keep
Oh, he's
it.
renting
gonna
it.
keep
Oh,
it.
sure, sure.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So
He's
he's
gonna
going to
keep
cash
it.
flow it for
Right,
a while.
right.
And
That
then
makes
maybe
sense.
he'll sell it.
But
or
I was
refinance
told
it.
that there's no lender in this world that will do $100,000 on top of a sub-2, right? Lenders don't do that.
Yeah,
why wouldn't-
I
why
didn't
would
even. It didn't occur to me. I'm in the
Right.
middle of this, and it didn't even occur to me to do a subject to get that cash with a hard money loan. It makes
Yeah.
because the blended
And
rate's
this guy's
still good.
This guy's it's his focus. He's out and he's talking to people at all these senior living communities and the people who help them get into the
great.
communities.
It's
And
great.
then so then when the people come in and they look and they go to Green Spring or wherever they go and they're like, oh, and I don't think Green Spring's one of them. I'm just saying a place like that. You come in and then they're like, oh yeah, well we can help you get organized if
Sure.
you call this guy. He happens to be a licensed agent. He'll help you. in
So,
other
so
ways
let me ask
too.
you. Let me ask you
But-
guys a math question.
Yeah, this is good math, by the way.
Let me ask you a math question.
Okay.
I do this deal in Manassas that we're talking about,
Yeah, you're up $250,000.
but
That
I
takes
put
you a long
no,
time to
no.
earn that.
No. I put 0 of my own money in it.
Yeah, what's the yield? What's the yield?
I want to know, and then I'm renting it out, and I get let's say $1,000 a month positive cash flow after PITI is paid.
Is
So
it
I'm-
better? Is it better than
So no,
crypto?
I'm getting $12,000 a year. Mm-hmm. What is my rate of return on the money?
An infinite rate of return.
Because that's 12,000 divided by 0, right?
Yeah.
So here's the question then with that, right? So he's
By the way, I love real estate.
he's putting 50 into getting them transferred into whatever retirement home.
Yeah.
Whatever
He's
they
getting
want.
50 for the reno.
Yeah.
So it's $100,000
Yeah.
hard money loan.
Yeah.
But he's keeping the money. He's keeping the property to rent it.
Right, and
so
so-
how is he paying back that $100,000? Because the hard money loan, the rate is very high now.
It is, yeah.
So how is he
I'm
paying
thinking
that
it's
back?
going
Is
to be
he
a high rate.
Typically, to often say 12%. Let's just for
12%.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
gonna be
points
higher.
and there's fees, but
fees.
yeah, it could
So,
be
but
higher.
since it's a zero money down situation, is he using then that
Well, that's
rent
the
to pay
thing,
that
right?
down
So
over time?
no, that's actually a good question, and that is actually the problem with
That's
doing
why
that.
he might have to flip one
And
in
so,
order to have enough money.
Yeah, and so we've
to
done
pay
this
to doing
before.
these.
Yeah, so it's not a straight normal because let's face it, he's not going to refinance.
Right, there's no
He's
reason.
got a three
Because
and a quarter,
because it'll take out
2.75,
that first.
right?
Yeah.
He's not refinancing. So
Yeah.
He's
we
going to call
understand-
us.
Huh?
He's going to call us in 10 months and say, "Hey, I only have 30,000 to give you. Could we re-up the loan?
Right.
And I'll knock it down 30 grand."
There's 70,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now we're at 70, right? And so, but we get extension fees. Don't feel bad for us. We get extension fees, and this thing just goes on into the future a little bit. And then eventually, he'll fix and flip a house, pay us back.
Yes.
He
I
also
see.
is a high
So
dollar
he's
agent. He
fine
gets a lot
holding
of-
on to it at that
Yeah.
12% rate
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
since he has the rate of return of whatever 100 or infinite because he
What does
didn't
he
put
care?
any of his own money
What does
into
he
it.
care?
All of that money is then going back to pay whatever the monthly payment for
Or
your
the
guys.
rent, or the rates go down to 5.5, and he just
And he refinances.
he says, "I'm going to just do a debt service
Right.
credit
I see,
rate,
and then pay
right,
back
and
that.
pay us
It
back,
doesn't
pay off
matter.
the first, clean up the whole thing," and he just settles for 5.5.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but he's still up $250,000.
Right, sure.
Yeah, because we got to talk a little bit about the title chain.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have to understand is once he buys the house, I know.
Well, but before we get to the title
Yeah.
chain, Charlie asked the question about how to find it. I just wanted to point out we talk a lot about that is the hardest step.
Yeah.
Getting
Right.
the money is easier.
Yeah.
I think that given that we know Charlie, I know him pretty well. I think we should give him a 5% discount on
you
our
still
book.
talk to him?
On our like this, only in this kind of podcast. But I think we knock 5% off our book, which covers a lot of finding distressed assets.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we do mentoring, which is substantially more expensive.
Curtis will love you for that, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Curtis. So that is the real, to me, the art form is finding that. But it's, I mean, even in the book, which doesn't have coaching, it breaks it into like this. What the hell's driving for dollars? Well, it explains it.
Yep.
How do you get a pre-foreclosure list?
Yep.
How do you, some of the things, and there's other things that people never talk about, like looking into estate sales or estate being open because the property's got to sell it. So Sam says, go drive some neighborhoods. I say, if you're curious, go to a courthouse to watch a foreclosure and see how terrible they are right now, because they may get good soon. I don't know.
Who knows?
They were very good years ago, and then start to put together your list. An hour? I mean, even an hour a week is better than nothing.
Way better than nothing.
Couple hours is that even better.
Yeah.
And you'll, once you start to understand what a distressed asset is, which we
Right.
talk about,
Right.
You'll see them everywhere. You'll just
Yeah.
be like, oh, that's and
Yep.
and then once you learn an area, let's say again, not to pick on PG, Prince William, wherever.
Right.
I know this area has
Yep.
good number of distressed houses, but I see them getting flipped. It's an upcoming area. So I mean, look at DC. If we had bought 20 years ago in DC, they were giving houses away, and
Yeah, for
now
sure.
DC is
Right.
gorgeous. I mean, most parts of DC are doing very well. Places that you would not go are some of those houses are selling for good money. So again, that's the power of renting. So do a little more research about what a distressed asset is and how to find
totally
it.
How to
I mean,
find it.
think about that hour a week, right? You're over there, either you're working an hourly wage and you're worried about getting 10 or 20% more, or you're working a job, even making $100,000, worried about getting $10,000 more a year. You're wasting a lot of energy on this, right? Trying to do this, trying to do that, stay late at work, all this other stuff. You're talking about a guy who goes out and he makes $250,000 on an asset. How long would that take you to save and work for it in your
yeah,
normal
any
capacity?
job, yeah.
In your normal
Till
job.
you're 40.
Till you're 40, right? And I'm telling you, like,
You're lucky.
with a little more than an hour a week, you're going to be able to do things like this and control that yourself. Now, it's non-linear. There's not a direct path. You have to be self-starting. You have to be the right person for this. Not everybody is well suited for it. Just candidly, not everyone is. But if you're in the mindset of thinking about these things, you're already there. You just need to take those steps. If you're in the mindset of just hoping, then just get some crypto. But if you want to take some action, go out there and take some action, and you'll make way more, exponentially more. And people will be like, "Oh, I don't know how he got all those houses. He must have stolen them." But we're working and thinking about it.